chorus. I've got a chorus of 8 vocals. Remember I said background 3 right, background 3 left, background 2. I have these all set up the way that I said I would set them up. And when I'm talking about pre-mixing, so I'm going to go to the console and I'm going to find those tracks that I'm on, and now I'm going to create my stereo field with the vocals. Okay, so I'm going to go to the main. I got the main, and I'm going to pan the main vocals 50% left and 50% right. It doesn't have to be exactly precise. It could be 51, 52, whatever, you know, just get close. And then I'm going to take those lows and I'm going to pan those all the way to 80%. Right? And this is kind of just a general idea. You can do 50, 65, or if you want to pan them all the way hard left, all the way hard right, that's on you. Like, you know, don't be mad at me if your stuff doesn't sound great, you know. And I didn't know this right off the bat. You know, I actually read this, and then I tried it, and I thought, wow, that does sound better. What do you know, right? You learn stuff, something new every day, right? Okay, I will go in here, and I will record. I will export these right now. I'm going to export them to a folder on the desktop. And I'm going to tutorial sounds. Bounces. And then I will put vocals. Vocals hook. And I will export them right now, so that way you guys can hear them.
Wait till I get my mojo right. I will be your every fantasy. Soon as I get my mojo right, I will make you fall in love with me.
Okay. So that is that, right? Let's go here. Do that. Delete those off of there, and I'm going to put my vocal on here. Okay. Now, so there was no pitch correction on that. It was just, and it sounds, doesn't even sound like a harmony. Now, hopefully you know how to sing really well and you can create better harmonies than that. If you don't, you're in trouble. If you do, good. Right? What I'm going to do next is, now that I've cut out a lot of the dead space, I'm going to do some pitch correction on these, right? And I'm going to use, in this particular, in Sonar X2, they have V vocal. And in order to use V vocal, you just press Shift. You highlight which clips that you want. It has to be audio clips, by the way. You highlight which clips that you want to use V vocal with, and you press Shift V. And in other programs, it might be something else. It might be a program called Melodyne. Other programs, there's another program which I'm sure everybody's familiar with called Auto-Tune, which I use quite frequently. And I don't know if there's anything wrong with it or right with it. All I know is that, again, if you're making music for yourself and you're not really trying to be competitive, then don't worry about it. If you're trying to get your music, you know, on iTunes and you want it to be sold, then you really have to try to mesh with the music that's out there, because if people hear your stuff and it doesn't sound like it's professional, they're not going to use it. They're not going to want to buy it, in my personal opinion. You know, now you can go ahead and try if you're pitch perfect, but you know, it doesn't matter who they are. Trust me, especially in commercial music, they use pitch correction, and I don't care if it's what's the chick's name? Big chick, you know what I'm talking about. She's kind of big, good looking from the UK. Man, her name escapes me, but never mind, I'll find someone like you. I have nothing but the best for you. That chick, okay? If you remember her name, please put it in the comments, okay? So right now we're using Roland V Vocal, and the easiest way to do it is, again, like I said, highlighted it, and then I pressed Shift V, and it created 8 new clips for me. And now I can just go into it just by double clicking it, and we're in, and I can just correct it here. Usually the settings that it's on right here, these are all different settings that you can play with. If you turn the synths all the way up, it'll take away the legato, and it'll sound like T-Pain. But if we're just gonna just keep the settings where they are, and we're gonna click the scale right here, and minor, it's in D minor, and then so we go here, hit D minor, and then all you got to do is hit correct, and it will fix whatever you want to fix. So then we can solo it and we can listen to it.
Wait till I get my mojo right.
And what it does is
I will be your every fantasy.
it just makes it, just puts
Soon
it on.
as I get my mojo right.
So whatever mistakes that I might have made in my pitch, it will change the variation of it and make it sound a little better.
Wait till I get my mojo right. I will be your every fantasy. Soon as I get my mojo right, I will make you fall in love with me.
Okay. And then, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do with these things. You can change the cadence. You can go in to what's called this is the pitch. You can go into the time, and you can move these all about and change the cadence, formant, dynamics. I mean, there's just all kind of stuff you can do with it. But right now, just gonna keep it simple and work on pitch. I think the other portion of it, if you really want to get into advanced stuff, then that's another tutorial. This right now is just super, basic stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go back and do the same thing with the other clips. Okay, gonna go in, change the scale, and correct it. And you got to be careful. Sometimes it gets it wrong, and you got to go in and manually change it. But today, again, for the sake of this tutorial, look how much that changed. Wow, man, I was just off on that one. Look at that. Blam! That's awful. That's awful. I cannot sing. That's crazy. Oh, you know what that was? That was a harmony, and I sang a wrong note in the harmony. So that's what happened. It changed my notes completely. Like, yo, this is wrong. You're not in pitch. That's what happened. So it's like, we're gonna fix it. So now it's gonna sound way different. I'm gonna go and turn the music off.
Soon as I get my mojo right, I will make you fall in love with me.
So let's go here.
Wait till I get my mojo right, I will be your every fantasy. Soon as I get my mojo right, I will make you fall in love with me.
Now, the truth is that it corrected it too much. It just was just too much. So I might go back and just leave it. But it also depends on, I'm just Control Zing it. That's all I'm doing now.
I will be your every fantasy.
Yeah.
Soon as I get my mojo right.
Okay. Now that wasn't exactly in, you know, the key, but sometimes you gotta go by ear, and that whatever they didn't sound right, so I switched it. Now I'm gonna play the music back, and
I will be your every fantasy. Soon as I get my mojo right, I will make you fall in love with me. I said there goes my.
so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to leave it in. However, I'm gonna make it very faint, because I really hear this song not really needing harmonies at all. As a matter of fact, for the sake of the tutorial, that's how you do harmonies, but I'm going to get rid of these because it doesn't sound right with the harmony.
Wait till I get my mojo right.
And that's what you got to do sometimes when you're writing songs. You know, the tutorial is called How to Write Songs from Start to Finish. And I generally go with the idea that usually something, well, this is just, the song's a bad idea anyway, but when you're writing your music, you know, just start with an idea. Every idea that you start with is a good idea. However, sometimes the execution of that idea isn't right, and sometimes at the end of it, when you're done recording it, it's just a bad idea altogether. You know what I mean? And so what? Like, I've written more songs that I've never let anybody hear than I can think of, because of the fact that they're just bad songs. And you know, it was a good idea when I started, and at the end of it, I could not execute the idea right, and I dumped the song. And you may have to do that in your lifetime. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I like the V-Vocal where it is, but the V-Vocal is a plugin and it's still on, and I don't want to take up too much CPU processing power because I still have to fly these vocals or paste them into the other hooks. So what I'm going to do now is highlight this whole thing and bounce the clips. Or if I want to save my original clips, because the original clips are actually in here still. And I'll show you what I mean. If I take this and I just delete this, you see my original clip is still there, and that goes the same for all the clips underneath. The original clips are still there, the V-Vocal clip is on top, okay? But what I want to do, is instead of highlighting everything, I want to go to each clip and select it like this. See? Now I can delete it and those clips will still be there. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go into here. There's two you can do. There's a bounce. You can right click here and you can bounce the clips, but that, wait a minute, let's see. No, I'm good. Sorry, never mind. And then if I delete that, you'll still see that's there. Now you can actually, I think it's bounce to tracks, and you can bounce all four of those to one track, but that's not what we want to do right now, so I won't talk about that.